So now we're going to learn about the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. And let's begin by reading it. I have behind me a copy of a ratification copy that the Secretary of State sent out to the states to debate. And let's see what it says. I've got to take out my constitutional reading glasses. It says, this is the text, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crimes whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction." So each of those words is really significant. And it's extremely important to realize that there were a series of earlier drafts of this amendment that would have swept even more broadly. Senator Charles Sumner, who I mentioned a moment ago, proposed an early draft of the 13th Amendment that would have guaranteed equality before the law to all persons. But there wasn't enough political support for that, and that language fell out. There's another very important clause in here that I'm sure you noticed. It said, "except as punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted." That language, the so-called convicts exception, came from the Northwest Ordinance in 1787 and made an exception for people who had been convicted of crimes to be subject to involuntary servitude. But it proved to be a fatal mistake. Senator Sumner said, "Why put that language in? It will do no good and may do much mischief." And he was absolutely right, because that language was seized on by southern states after the amendment was passed to justify the infamous black codes. Those laws basically said that any African American who was convicted of a minor offense, like insulting a white person, could be essentially subject to the equivalent of peonage or involuntary servitude and would have to go to jail and would be unable to exercise the basic civil rights of citizenship, including the right to make contracts, to sue and be sued, to inherit property, basically to be full citizens. So that language in the 13th Amendment justified the black codes, and it took another amendment, the 14th Amendment, to efface that exception and to make clear that the black codes were unconstitutional and illegal. So let's go learn about the 14th Amendment.